We're now going to move to a country where I think yesterday it was mentioned, I think Neela talked about the IMF figures, talking about the only G7 country to get negative growth in the coming years. So who better to talk to us than our CFO in the UK, so Lorna, hopefully you can hear me.
Hi, David. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you fine. So, hey, it would be interesting to hear from you just how the UK kind of dealing with some of the challenges and the slow return to growth and what you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a challenging time here in the UK. The UK is still behind most other Western countries in seeing employment levels return back to pre-pandemic levels. So in July 2022, there were 386,000 more people over the age of 50 who weren't working and they're not actively trying to. That's compared to the same period before COVID. There was also a loss of 330,000 immigrant workers due to Brexit. 2.5 million people are out of work because of long-term sickness. That's 500,000 more than in 2019. So that does mean that the UK labour market is far more volatile than it's been in recent decades. We're seeing a mixture of early retirement, a drop in immigration, and long-term sickness levels that's creating a radical change in the workforce. So what does that mean for UK companies? The UK will continue to see instability and dynamic changes in the labour market over the next few years. It's difficult to detect what the long-term trends are going to be. We just had this perfect storm. We've had Brexit, we've had COVID, we've had global recession, and now we're having rising inflation. So as a result of this, we're also seeing strikes. That's both in the public sector and the private sector. That's across transport, healthcare, emergency services, and education. So meanwhile, inflation is really pushing up wages, especially in the private sector. So the wage inflation that's currently in the UK, that's 6.5% right now. That is high for the UK. That's coupled with low unemployment, a large vacancy rate. So that means that labour market now is very competitive. There is a war on talent and the uncertainty for businesses is really huge. So how can we at ADP help? So even though the UK is going through tough challenges, the picture just isn't the same across every business sector. We're seeing strong growth in some areas with more flexible labour forces. So that's like retail, health and social care sector as well. And one of ADP's clients was one of those clients riding the upward trend, and they brought on about 10,000 new employees, and that was all at once. That would be difficult for any company as they have to scale up their payroll teams too to be able to cope with that level of employees. That can lead to delays because payroll people need to be resourced, they need to be trained, and they need to be acquainted with the company's processes and systems. But at ADP, we're already resourced, we have the right skill set, and we can help companies get the ball rolling right away. We're ready and we're prepared to be able to bring on that level of employees. We can also take on tasks such as background screening and onboarding. The competitive labour market and the current wage price pressure means that you need to make sure you're getting people's pay right when you onboard them. We've heard this before, you've got to get it correct and it needs to be on time. Because the last thing companies need right now is any delays or errors with pay, because you could lose your people quite quickly. At ADP, we're used to dealing with those quick changes, that rapid growth, and we can ensure your payroll is up to par. This way, you don't lose valuable talent.
Hey, Lorna, thank you for joining us.